Good morning, Susan. Businesses here in Jackson cannot seem to catch a break. After dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, they're now dealing with having dirty water or no water during this water crisis. Those are just some of the people that we've been hearing from here in Jackson, Susan. We've also heard from some business owners, including this restaurant here behind me called The Pig and the Pint, who have lost half of the people they usually see walking through those doors. What are you guys expecting out of the second movie?
Tears. Honestly, I'm gonna probably cry.
A lot of action, hopefully a good tribute to Chadwick.
Absolutely stupendous.
You guys just got out of the theater. I see big smiles on both of y'all's faces. Tell me why.
My heart is beating so fast.
Talk about the importance of, honoring Chadwick and having a memorial in there. Did the movie do it justice?
Yes.
Back behind me, waves are coming in due to the wind hitting the pier. We actually talked to a contractor yesterday on the beach who worked on the pier after Hurricane Matthew and says he might have to come back out here and do the same thing again. January 16th was a dark day for the Dowlings when their son Malachi was airlifted right here to Memorial Health's ER after a tragic ATV accident. This right here is a similar scene we'll see here in Savannah's new arena in fall of 2022 once fans flood the stands to see the team at the ice for the first time. The new outpatient space even has rooms like this one where young pediatric patients can come in and work on their sensory exercises.
It would be nice if there was a light at the end of the tunnel. Right now, there is no light at the end of the tunnel.
Derek Emerson can't believe he's here, actually considering moving his restaurant out of Jackson.
We've been on a boil water notice now for like 7 weeks. In 2022? Come on.
For decades, Walker's Drive-In has served the community, but the lack of clean water in the city is taking its toll.
We are in the state capital, and we have no water that we can actually drink, serve, or brush our teeth with.
Emerson says the cost to keep Walker's open is astronomical. Since the boil water advisory was issued at the end of July, he says he's had to dole out an extra $1,200 a week for things like bottled water, constantly replacing their water filters, and rinsing this water pump. On top of that, there's a significant drop in customers. And all, Emerson says the Jackson water crisis is costing him $10,000 a month.
If this goes on for 3 or 4 months, I can't afford to lose money like that.
We have our backup water.
Just down the street at the Pig and Pint,
This is Plan B right here, absolutely.
the owners had to get creative to cope with the constantly unreliable city water.
It's clean water that we've brought from a different city. We're transferring it in trailers from our homes right now to get it here so we can stay open.
It's just been amazing that we would have this to get this bad right after the pandemic. It's like one blow on top of another.
For nearly 40 years, Dolores Sewell and her prep company Tutorial School have been through a lot. But she says the lingering boil water advisory has been the most crushing to her business.
Can you imagine boiling water for 80 or 90 children? You're boiling water all day.
She was forced to shut her doors last week with hopes to reopen today. Sewell says she's tired, frustrated, and wants elected officials to stop bickering.
You should be able to work out any personal differences because we're talking about the community. We're talking about, 180,000 or more lives, and we don't know how many people really might get sick.
It's a basic right in America to have clean running water. We can't use water, can't take a bath, it's sad, it's hurtful. I'm actually embarrassed, that our city is in this predicament.
Yumika Walls is at her wit's end. She says her hometown, Jackson, Mississippi, has consistently been without water since July.
And then I'm gonna boil it on the stove.
But she says they've been getting boil water advisories for much longer.
We've had rolling boil water notices all my life. And then after a while, it just got to be, okay, we're not using this water. Not for, our everyday thing as far as drinking.
So you don't drink any of the tap water?
No.
That's just off limits?
It's off limits. My kids don't even, all of their life, they've been drinking the water out the bottle because we know not to drink the tap water.
Wall said for a long time she accepted the boil notices as something that's normal. But since the city's water issues have been exposed nationally, she was reminded that no, this is not normal, it's not even okay.
I don't want my kids to grow up and feel like this, no. So if I can give them a better chance, you know, and give them better living conditions. That's what I'm gonna do.
Walls says she's just about ready to move out of Mississippi because it breaks her heart that her girls can't even take a shower after their band practice.
It's like to know that all the germs are on you, and then to know that you can't take a shower, it's uncomfortable and make you feel like you don't want to keep getting in your bed and stuff and making your stuff dirty, and then you can barely wash it right because the water doesn't work.
It's a pretty big pot.
To add insult to injury, Walls is still expected to pay for water she can't use, and she expects her electric bill to be higher because she's boiling water for hours. She says she had to shut down her catering business once again because of the water situation.
That's all, it's all coming out of our pockets. And it's just like, this is what we have to do right now. You know, we have no choice in the matter. That's what I don't like. I have no choice. I have to do this.
What do you want your elected officials to know, those that are seeing the reality of this going on?
When you become an elected official, you represent all of us. You don't just represent a Republican, you don't just represent a Democrat, you represent all of the people. I want y'all to care for all of us. We are all important.
For Walls, the only comfort in this frustrating time is how the rest of Mississippi is showing support.
But when they stepped up and started, hey, we're having a drive for the water, that touched me so much because it made me feel like they see us. You know, we're human to them. Because for a long time, we haven't even felt like we were human to these people.
It came from the longest 9 months of my life to the longest year of my life.
An excited husband and 2 little girls filled with love and happiness as they watch their mom step off the plane and into their arms for the first time in a year.
My deployment got extended by about 60 days. And then when I got home, we had to quarantine for 2 weeks in the deserts of New Mexico. So this has been a long time coming.
Devin McDavid is an Army nurse who has been deployed in Afghanistan for the past year, but it wasn't supposed to be this long. She was originally scheduled to come home in April, which would have been a 9-month deployment, but the COVID-19 pandemic changed that.
It was pretty heartbreaking, but I realize the world has changed a lot since I've been gone. We're coming to terms with the new reality.
But her extended deployment proved to be highly effective. McDavid and her peers were pioneers in the COVID task force plan in Afghanistan that was used across other Army bases.
It was a little bit scary because it's you're still operating in a war zone environment. So we had a new battle that we had to take care of, which was COVID-19, and I think we did a pretty good job.
And as for her husband, he says he's more than excited to finally have his family complete again.
That's a whole new experience being the stay-at-home dad. It's a whole nother world that I was not ready for, but I think I did fine. And now that she's here, I couldn't be happier.
He did more than fine. He was super dad. He held it down with these 2 little girls.